And you don't get much bigger than the Radio 1 crew in the house. Welcome.
Hi, in the house.
In the house.
In the house.
Hello.
Dan and Phil, welcome to the International Radio Festival.
Thank
Delighted to have you here.
We're so excited to be here.
Yes, and I'm nice and moist because of all the lights that are shining on my face. That's how I like to do a show.
Stop saying moist.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk a little bit about your show, because it's a multimedia extravaganza, and
Yes.
as the festival, it's all about, you know, talking about the future of radio. I think you guys are really great ambassadors of where it's going, so tell everybody a bit more about the show.
Well, the show, as you said, is a multimedia extravaganza. We were basically given the slot of the request show on Radio 1, but the controller of Radio 1 thought that, what is a request show in 2013 in a world with Spotify and YouTube where anyone can get music on demand? The magic of a request show is interactivity. It's live engagement with your listeners. So we thought we were going to use all of our technical skills that we got from YouTube to try to make the most technically innovative, interactive radio show we could.
Wow, what a mouthful that
Yeah,
was.
I know. I used lots of seven-letter words there that I don't usually say.
But you guys, you were discovered by Radio 1 on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you've got to talk a bit more about that and what you were telling me before about the whole Christmas special that you did for them.
Yeah, well, we used to be video bloggers, and we still are under the names Amazing Phil and Dan Is Not on Fire. And we make little video blogs on YouTube, and they got quite a following somehow. I don't know how that happened.
Look at the guys playing it down, quite a following. How many million was it for the hits we were talking about?
Oh, I have a video with 5 million views, yeah.
Yeah.
So a few million. But yeah, then Radio 1 took notice of us, which was brilliant and innovative of them. Thanks, guys. And they gave us a Christmas special, which went down really well. And then we got our own show. And the special thing about our show is we ask our viewers to send their own music videos in, which we then stream on the website. And then so it's a visual experience, but then also still the audio experience because you're listening to the songs as well.
So anyone listening to this should definitely watch the live stream to actually get what it's about. So anyone that's just lurking in an audio experience, make sure you go to, is it youtube.com/I... What is it there?
IRF Radio Fest.
Yeah, INTL Radio Fest, so short for international, youtube.com/INTL Radio Fest, and then if you watch the video that's auto-playing, then you can see what's happening.
Wow. And guys, is this the first time you've done an outside broadcast out of the Radio 1 studios with this? Is it?
We've done a few interviews and things at Reading Festival and also Big Weekend, the Radio 1 Festival.
But I think this is the first
time.
Whole show outside, so
Yeah.
we might not know what all the buttons do.
I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like you've been playing with Lego your whole life, and then all of a sudden they're like, Duplo, make your masterpiece.
There are other building blocks available.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sony Radio Award winners.
That happened, yeah.
Yes. Over to you. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I want to see you in action.
Okay,
Visually
well,
and audiously.
we're going to kick off with the DVD, I think, very futuristic. Are we ready with the first one? Okay, it's loading. Keep your socks on.
All right, broadcasting 96.9 FM Zurich South, 104.1 FM Zurich North, cable across Switzerland and online around the world. International Radio Festival presenting Dan and Phil from Radio 1.
Unless you are driving, you are about to experience a show that you have the power to control. Amazing Phil and Dan Is Not on Fire have escaped from the internet and are ready to climb into your ears. Prepare your body and mind for Season 2 of Dan and Phil. Boom.
Dan and Phil. BBC Radio 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dan and Phil show from Radio 1, live from Zurich.
Hello. We are usually Sunday night, 7 till 9 on BBC Radio 1 in London, as you can probably tell by my accent.
Yes.
And we're here at the Zurich International Radio Festival in Switzerland, which is Zurich, obviously. But yeah, it's going to be all the best bits of our show crammed into a suitcase and scrambled to Switzerland. And it's technically... it'll be a slow process, I was
Well,
gonna
it
say.
will. I mean, you know, usually we've got a whole, like, array of TV crews around us and buttons
Yeah.
that we've been used to pressing for 9 months. Now it's like they've taken away the things and just gone, you'll know what you do, just press some buttons. So it'll be slow and awkward but beautiful, like the first time you kiss a girlfriend. Yeah.
I'm going to try and press all the right buttons, hopefully.
Okay. Well, as you guys might have seen by now with all these DVDs that we're playing, it's probably the most technically advanced radio show that's ever been created.
I'd like to say the most. I'd like to go over that level.
Is it a good thing, Phil? I
think so.
I think so, yes. But the whole point of our show is to integrate groundbreaking technology and social media as a way to enhance the conversation and the audio experience.
Yeah.
Is the very, very long way of describing it. I mean, usually we have technology such as helmet cams. We have callers appearing on video chats and Google Plus Hangouts via iPads when we play features.
It's very futuristic.
We do,
It's like Tron.
It's like Tron. And we even have an owl that prints tweets out of its mouth like it's regurgitating a mouse. Unfortunately, we couldn't pack the owl because it's made out of cardboard.
They also don't allow it through customs.
So it would have died horribly. But just imagine that there's an owl there that's printing tweets, and that's usually what's happening. But yes, our games and features are fully interactive, but the most special thing about our show is that the music is all controlled by the listeners live as the show happens. They send in requests for what songs they want to hear, and that's what we play throughout the show as it happens. But as you've seen, because it is all online in video, what we do is we play DVDs of music videos that our listeners have actually created to their favourite songs and sent in.
And they're so creative. They're absolutely brilliant. We've even got one in space tonight, in actual space.
We do have a video that someone sent in that's set in space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's magical. I mean, as opposed to just texting in or calling in a radio station to request a song they want to hear, we have people making music videos for days or even weeks at a time just for us. So we're very, very blessed for that, aren't we, Phil?
So blessed. And here is another example. Set to chart-chopping DJ Bros Disclosure, Jack Cousins filmed his own toddler fashion show.
That's right.
It's kind of scary and cute at the same time. Let's go. F for you, Disclosure, with a disturbing yet entertaining toddler fashion show from Jack Cousins.
I'm sure he'd really appreciate that description.
Oh, definitely.
BBC Radio 1.
So, I've actually never been to Switzerland.
I think I've been one time. This is the first time I've been to Zurich.
Yeah, I've been here for about 4 hours, so I haven't had the full Zurich experience.
How has your
yet.
first 4 hours of Zurich been?
My first 4 hours was good. Every building I've been in, I've been given a chocolate.
That's a really good first way to be introduced to a country.
I've been given some Swiss
constantly barraged with chocolate.
It's really good chocolate as well. I don't know if that's how they make people stay, because I'm thinking of staying now.
And just bribing you to stay in Switzerland with chocolate.
I was also given some kind of, I think it was like a bread or a cake called, I'm going to say this wrong, Speckli?
No matter what you... That was definitely
There's
wrong.
some people in here that can tell me. What is it?
It was
Speckli?
It was like an almond muffin.
Say that again? Specially.
But then we've been
I
told
probably said it wrong.
that it probably contains potato.
Yeah.
So Phil was horrified to learn that he ate a cake and
It's
then
kind
it
of like
turned out to be
an
potatoey.
almondy potato, kind of like a dream combination.
Is there anything else Swiss that you're looking out for?
I'm going to go on a mission to find some cheese with holes in it.
Just
Yeah.
all the stereotypical things. Cheese with holes in it.
Have to do all the stereotypes in your first visit.
I think so, magical.
Yeah.
Now, when me and Phil are not just doing our show on a Sunday night, doing the songs and stuff, we all do other work for Radio 1, including working at music festivals, because obviously there's a lot of live events that Radio 1 do. So we've worked at the Teen Awards, where we interviewed One Direction in a toilet. That was a highlight of my life. And we worked at Radio 1's Big Weekend, and recently we did Reading and Leeds, but obviously because me and Phil, everything we have to do has to be crazy and different in a way that no one else would probably dare to do. We have to do crazy interviews with the bands. So at the Reading and Leeds Music Festival, the way that we decided we'd interview the bands is by visualize this, okay? A small two-man pop-up tent, so a very small tent, and trying to fit as many members of a band as possible inside the tent, and then asking them crazy questions. By the way, the tent was covered with fan art that was drawn of them, so there was a lot of naked drawings of the band members covering the tent.
It was the creepiest fan art we can find.
But so they loved it, you know, being covered in a creepy fan art tent,
Yeah.
and then pelted with bizarre questions.
But the first interview we did was with show faves. They're always on our show. It's
Yes.
Imagine Dragons. We didn't get to fit all of them in our tent, but we got
About half.
about half of the band.
We made it a good go.
So here's what happened. In tent.
Imagine Dragons.
So we are joined here by two members of Imagine Dragons. Hi guys.
Hello.
So we've got the rest of the band here, but we figured that all seven of you probably wouldn't fit in the tent without one of you dying.
It could have been a global disaster.
I don't think we're insured for that. So,
How are you finding the tent, though?
It's actually quite nice. You know, I'm only like 5'7". He's 6'5", so he's having a
oh
hard
wow,
time.
yeah.
So do you guys have any entertaining or horrific festival anecdotes?
Let me think. I mean, they happen all the time. At Lollapalooza,
the
the generator blew out in the middle of our set.
What happened?
It was like mid-song, and it was just everything cut. Like, just dead. And we were up there just like,
Yeah.
you know.
What did you do on stage for 10 minutes in silence?
We did a dance type
Juggling.
of
I'd like to see a dance.
We're from Las Vegas, so we're jack of all trades.
Would you guys, as a band, do you think you would be able to take down 6 bears, or would you rather use the toilets in the campsite?
I already used the toilet in the campsite.
Oh, what was that
Yeah,
like?
seriously?
Quite nice.
And it looked like 6 bears had just used it before.
I can confirm that fact.
So when you're on stage, what would be the best thing someone could throw at you in the whole universe? Any item.
It's so easy. Viennese whirls.
Yeah, we like Viennese whirls.
Viennese whirls.
But
They're the best. And what's the candy with the twirly whirly? The curly whirlies?
Oh, curly whirlies?
Those are pretty amazing.
Ben,
candies.
actually, our bass player at a gig, before this band started, he went to a gig and somehow got his underwear off while he was up there and threw it on stage.
What?
And then, who was it? Oh, it was Wallflowers. And they stopped the show. They stopped the show and he was like, whose are these? And it made the paper the next day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was really upset. He was like, whose are these?
They're
And
like
Ben,
XXL.
yeah, Ben was pretty big at the time, so it was,
Did you look back on that as a positive or negative experience?
knowing Ben, it was one of his lifelong achievements.
I would agree. Okay, so can you guys give us 1 second of your performance tonight? There we go, that was great. Magical. I predict 5-star reviews. That's going to be good.
So if you were forced to combine Imagine Dragons with one other band playing at Reading and Leeds, what would you call the band and who would you combine with?
Impala Dragon. Dragon Impala?
Oh, that'd be nice. Dragon Impala, I like that.
Oh, we're
Tame Dragon.
Tame Dragons is
like
probably the
that.
way to go with that.
the Tame Dragons.
Awesome.
I'd listen to that.
Yeah. If you guys woke up tomorrow morning and you realized you were Eminem, what would be the first thing you'd do?
First, I'd congratulate myself for being so wealthy.
That'd be nice.
And then,
Successful.
you know what? I grew up listening to him my whole life, so I'm a big fan. I'd probably be really creepy and like go look at myself naked in the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No one said that yet, but I think they're all lying, and that's
think they are
exactly what
lying.
they do. I think that's exactly what everyone would do if they woke up as
Yeah.
Eminem.
So now we have a creative challenge. I want you to draw collectively what is inside your mind.
What is inside my mind right now?
Yeah.
You've got 10 seconds.
All right, 10 seconds.
Go. Are we seeing some kind of...
It's actually pretty
Oh,
good.
this is good art.
Yeah, he's pretty talented.
Wow. I kind of want to give it more than 10 seconds. Wow.
Thank you for fixing
They've
my
done an
boob.
amazing caricature of Dan.
It actually is bigger than your body.
A slightly disconnected neck.
That is the most realistic drawing of me I've ever seen. Not to diss any of the fan art that's text or the send, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is the most special one.
So
Yes,
good.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And finally, if us four were suddenly trapped in this tent because of an avalanche, who would you resort to eating first?
I think probably not Wayne. He has so much hair. You know what I mean?
True.
Like that was just
True, and I'm
Cough it up like a cat afterwards.
you. The earring, I might choke on it. I'm gonna have to resort to you. Actually.
No!
Well, we can now release you from your tenty hell. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Well, there we go. Imagine Dragons would apparently eat me if they were trapped on some kind of Swiss mountain. So
Yes.
yeah, I included the word Swiss there.
Thank you, Phil. I'm sure everyone appreciates that.
But yeah, that was our interview with Imagine Dragons. And now, excitingly, we have a performance of their hit song Radioactive live from Reading Festival, where the most terrifying thing happened. We actually had to introduce them on stage. And this is the first time we'd ever introduced anything. There's about 10,000 people in the audience.
And how did you feel, Phil?
I thought I was going to wee myself.
That was Imagine Dragons with Radioactive live from Reading Festival. Phil, how did that feel to introduce them in front of all that people?
It's honestly one of the most incredible moments of my life. I'm so proud to have done that. That was such an amazing performance.
What a diplomatic answer, Phil.
It was
Don't you
so
mean
good.
I was crying internally?
Yes, I said I
and
almost weed myself, but
Yeah,
I thought
that's
I'd go down the
the inspiring
inspirational
good
route.
performance route. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
But now it is time to talk about the big event of our show that happens every Sunday night. I am talking about Fan Wars. So Fan Wars is the game that we like to play. It's our big radio feature, and the idea behind it is that due to the fact that all the music is picked by the audience, we figured we let someone choose their song via a game. But it's not really a game, Phil, is it? It's a way of life.
It's a way of life.
This is how Fan Wars is played. We pick two artists, so it could be One Direction versus The Wanted, for example, and we'd get a superfan to represent each of those artists. And it would be up to the superfans to then compete in some kind of game that Phil usually invents for the right to have their artist song played on Radio 1.
Yeah,
So-
it's very intense.
It's a very big deal, but it's not just the pressure of being on the radio and wanting to win the song, because we usually like to ham it up a bit on the internet, don't we, Phil? And
yeah.
what you need to understand is when something's on Radio 1 and everybody's listening, entire fandoms come down on the shoulders of the two people that are competing. So imagine being a Fan Wars contestant, when you're representing One Direction, there's probably about 40 million people that will be very angry at you on the internet if you don't win on behalf of One Direction.
Yeah, and the tasks I set for people are pretty extreme.
They're very intense, aren't they? And right after this next song, we are going to have two competitors live from London on Skype.
I'm so excited.
And they are internet superstars.
I really hope it works. Well, we've had a toddler fashion show, but now, get this, Chris Hilcox stuck an apple to a balloon and sent it into space. Yes, actual space. Our radio show has space flight and yours doesn't. Chris Hilcox sent an apple. Was that an apple?
It was an apple into space on a weather balloon.
It was beautiful, that.
It made me... It's strangely emotional, isn't it? But then it's just an apple on a stick, basically.
If you could send anything into space, what would it be?
If I could send anything at all into space?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a broad question. Anything in the universe? A marshmallow to see what it does. Marshmallows have weird consistency. What would they do in a vacuum?
I once put a marshmallow in the microwave. It was one of those marshmallow peep birds.
Okay.
And it completely exploded. It expanded to this huge, disgusting monster.
So you don't recommend doing that?
No.
Okay, and on that note, we're going to our next music video. It is Ciara, Like a Boy. Ciara, Like a Boy, and now it is time to play Fan Wars with two competitors coming live from London. Here we go.
There's some wars you fight, and some wars you walk away from. This is the fighting kind.
In a world devastated by tweets, only two sides remain. Champions chosen to represent each fan base will fight for glory and the right to be heard. This is Fan Wars.
The sirens are sounding. It can only mean one thing. It's time to play Fan Wars. This is where we make two fans of two very popular artists go head-to-head in a battle for ultimate destiny.
Ultimate destiny, I think that's pretty accurate. Jack Howard, do we have you on the line?
Hello.
Hi, Jack Howard.
You, but I'm here.
Well, that's okay, you're here. You have a nice face.
Thanks.
Is it true that you are the ultimate Panic at the Disco fan of all time, Jack?
Maybe not, but yes, I am a fan of Panic at the Disco.
Okay, that's all that's important. And what is your age?
My age, I'm 21. Don't make fun of me, it's not funny.
That's fine, fetus. And how are your animal impressions?
Well, it depends what animal you want to hear.
Okay, well, that is the question. We'll speak to your competitor now. Can you put Louise on?
Louise!
Hi!
Hello, Louise. Can we
Hi, hello.
Can we have a fact about you?
Yes.
Go on.
A fact about me is that I very much love glitter more than anything else in the world.
That's a very girly fact.
Is it true that it's the herpes of the crafts world?
It actually is true that it is the herpes of the craft world, because once it's in your house, it never leaves.
And it's on everything.
So what artist are you representing?
It's on everything, you find it all the time, you cannot get rid of it.
Yeah. Louise, what artist are you representing tonight? Louise?
One Direction.
One Direction.
One Direction. Okay, so Phil, would you like to explain the rules of animal impressions for our competitors?
I'm going to give you a variety of animals, and you have to do your best impression of each one.
Are those clear instructions?
Can you repeat that? We didn't get it.
Yeah.
We're going to name an animal, and then you have to try to make the noise that animal usually makes. Is that okay? Are you good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Louise, you can go first. Right. Phil, would you like some tension?
Yes.
Okay. So, is Louise going to go first?
Louise, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Dog.
Oh, what?
Oh.
I thought you said jog. Oh my God.
No, they're animals. Okay, dog, woof.
Yeah, eagle.
That's a sad eagle. Okay, that's fine.
Iguana.
Oh, I'm...
No.
Orangutan.
A what?
Orangutan.
I think you said rhinoceros.
I think that deserves a ding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dolphin. Yeah.
She actually tried to make the dolphin noise. Okay, I'm buying that.
Sad owl.
I channeled the pain. Okay, that's very good. That's very good. We're going to put Jack on the line now, so get over. Okay, thank you. That was a valiant effort. Back to Jack.
Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
Well, I'm excited now.
Okay.
After that, how do I feel like that?
Are you ready, Jack?
Oh, I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay,
for this.
Phil, hit him with the animals, not literally.
Fox.
What?
Fox.
Fox? What did you say?
Fox. We said fox. Is a dying fox? Do you buy that, Phil?
No, I don't buy that.
That's a no.
Snake.
Sorry?
Snake.
Yep, generic hissing, strong.
Howler monkey.
What?
A howler monkey, specifically. Yeah, whatever that is.
Rhino.
Yeah, that's like a rhino, disgruntled, angry.
Whale. That was beautiful.
And finally, what does he have to do?
Alien.
An alien. That's open to discussion. I like to think that's an alien.
Okay, let's get Jack back on the stream as we're going to announce a winner.
Okay, Phil, who are we going with? We have Louise representing One Direction and Jack representing his favourite band, especially the new music, Panic at the Disco.
Okay.
Phil, you are the god of Fan Wars. Who do you think is our worthy winner?
Well, we actually have an audience here right now, so why don't we have a little bit of participation from the room?
Okay, put your hands up if you thought Louise was better. Okay.
Cheer if you want Louise. Okay.
Cheer if you thought Jack Howard did better. That was slightly more enthusiastic. Jack, you are the winner! Oh my God, Jack! How does it feel to have brought glory to Panic at the Disco?
Proudest moment of today.
Wow, that's magic. Would you like to introduce I Write Sins Not Tragedies by Panic at the Disco, coming from the Dan and Phil Show live at the Zurich International Radio Festival?
Absolutely. We are about to listen to Panic at the Disco, I Write Sins Not Tragedies.
Here we go.
Panic at the Disco, I Write Sins Not Tragedies for our Fan Wars winner, Jack.
Woo! I think it's safe to assume that Jack was vastly better there.
Yeah, he was. He had a good alien. He had a good whale.
He had a strong whale. A strong whale is always important when we play animal impressions.
But you know, I can always tell if I like a person if they've got a good whale impression, and his was pretty good.
And does that mean that you just don't like Louise? She just doesn't cut it as a friend?
She didn't try and do a whale.
Or
She
human.
might be the best whale of all time. We don't know that. But
say that to her next time you see her. Yes, that would be great.
It's worth saying that Jack and Louise are also YouTubers. You can find them on Jack Howard and also Sprinkle of Glitter. They've got 1 million subscribers between them. So.
Yes, they could invade a country if they wanted to.
Yeah, and they'd also make very pretty babies as well if they ever did that.
Indeed. Okay, now back to the music. As we explained at the start of the show, the way that we let our listeners control the playlist in a visual show is by making music videos to their favourite songs and then sending them in to us. So far we've had a dance-off, we've had a toddler fashion show, and we've had an apple that has been sent into space.
Obviously the best one.
Obviously, but now we have a hilarious parody of Empire of the Suns video by John and his mate in his car. We don't recommend or condone doing car parodies while driving.
No.
Because then you might die horribly. So please don't parody music videos in a car, as these guys did, even though it's really funny.
They survived, though.
They did.
Walking on a Dream. The brilliant video by John Corbett. Driving with his friend. They survived.
Dan and Phil on BBC Radio 1.
I was speaking like I was in a nature documentary then.
You were. I was very slow like David Attenborough.
Yeah. I sometimes like to get into that zone.
Maybe it's what you should start doing from now.
Yeah, I like people watching and just seeing them like animals.
Don't say you like people watching, Phil. That's illegal.
Not in a stalker way, just in a happy way.
Not in a stalker way, I believe you.
Just with my cup of coffee and my binoculars.
Okay, so what we've seen a lot of so far is the audience sending in music videos for our show. I mean, we find it very humbling and beautiful and amazing that a lot of people would spend all of this time making these music videos literally just for our show.
Yeah.
And that we've been managing to do it since January without running out yet. I think that's the most astounding thing. What would we do if we ran out? Would we just cry? So don't stop making them because I don't want to cry. That sounds like a good plan. No, but one of the more exciting things that has happened is in the cases where other people need music videos made for them. Now, you may know Daft Punk, Get Lucky, that song that was #1 around the world for about 1 million weeks that we're all tired of hearing. Well, when it went #1 in the UK, it happened before they'd even decided to release it properly as a single, and the official singles chart in the UK is all live streamed like our show is, except they play official music videos. So what happens when something gets to #1 and it has no music video? They go, Dan and Phil, please help us.
Make us something, please. We don't know what to do.
So what we decided to do was to enlist the help of our audience, who we know are so excellent at making music videos, to make a music video for Daft Punk, and we did, and it is amazing.
Features Radio 1 DJs, including Greg James.
Yes, a lot of thrusting from Greg James.
And so many people from home as well, all across the road, collaborated together for this. This is a good one.
It was a beautiful moment, and I think the coolest thing was they never made a music video for this song ever, so it ended up being the video that they played on the singles chart for months. Months and months and months, and Jamila, the poor presenter, really hates that video because she had to look at it pretty much every Sunday for about 5 months in a row. I think it's still in the chart, isn't it? Somewhere around 37.
Still in the chart.
Okay, well here it is for you now. Daft Punk, Get Lucky, featuring Dan and Phil and Greg James and all of our listeners.
Daft Punk with Get Lucky, with a video by almost most of Radio 1 and people around the world.
Thank you, people all around the world.
Dan and Phil on BBC Radio 1.
So is this technically holiday or work, Phil, if you've never been to Switzerland before?
I'd like to think of it as both, like a walladay, maybe. Combine the two.
That's not going to catch on.
I'm
Don't
always
ever say the term walladay ever again.
I'm always up for adding new words to the dictionary. I think that would be a good one.
What other words have you added to the dictionary in your time?
I haven't made any more.
No, you haven't. Now is not a good time to start.
No.
So how has it been so far? I mean, you said that, you had chocolate thrown at your face pretty much the whole time. Has nothing gone wrong at all?
It's been great. There has been one fail. I thought that we were going to be on a snowy mountain. So
you just presumed that all of Switzerland was just snowy mountains, did you?
You look at the Toblerone and there's a mountain on the box, so I was like, it's going to be covered in snow.
Damn those Toblerone makers, they're so racist.
I packed my darkest black jeans, a load of jumpers and one t-shirt.
To be fair, I dress like a funeral all the time, so I'm feeling very warm. I mean, everyone that's watching us now is just fanning themselves. I can't fan myself. I just have lights pointing at me. That's like the anti-fan.
But yeah, I thought we could open this up to the world, anyone listening right now. You could tell us what your holiday fails have been.
Oh, okay, things that have gone wrong.
Yeah.
We've done that before, haven't we, with
we've
holiday
done it
fails?
before.
It was a big success learning everything that's gone horribly wrong in people's lives, hasn't it? Okay.
So let us know out there, anyone listening on Twitter, use the hashtag HolidayFail, and then we're going to be reading some of them out later. Unfortunately, they're not going to be spat out by our digital owl that we have back in London.
They'll just be read out by Phil's mouth.
They will. My mouth will be reading them out.
So, it's not all music videos. Sometimes we like to get requests live via text and via calls and even the social media at that term. But yes, we're going to one from Twitter now, from @LilyIsALizard, who wanted to hear Euphoria by Loreen. And I thought, if Daft Punk is a song that everyone in the UK has heard for months and months, surely everyone in Europe had, Euphoria for ages? Is that true?
Yeah.
A lot of Loreen, okay. So for all the European people out there who really don't want to hear Loreen, here it is for you now.
Loreen, are you there? We can't hear Loreen.
We have a technical man.
There's a man trying to get Loreen to sing. Maybe the entirety of Europe was willing her not to.
If they all think psychically at the same time, do you think that'd happen, Phil?
Maybe. And Loreen will just start. Maybe you could get it on your computer, Dan, and play it.
Or just load it up on Spotify.
Just do it now.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to get Loreen in a less technical way.
Using the power of the internet.
But meanwhile, I'll tell you, if you want to watch us at any point, go to internationalradiofestival.com, and then there will be a link at the side which will take you to the webcam where you can watch us, spy on us, have a cup of coffee, and just stare at the side of Dan's head.
Don't encourage people to go on it just to stare at the side of my head.
No, I think they could.
I don't have a very attractive head.
What, from the side?
No, I don't.
Okay, we're loading up Loreen. Hopefully she'll be with us soon.
That's okay. The man is looking very sad that Loreen's not playing out of the magical box.
Yeah, people are shuffling slightly awkwardly.
Shuffling awkwardly? Well, it's not for us. Should I just play it on the computer?
Let's do
I
it.
have the power to launch it from the computer, and if anything, this will be a test of Swiss Wi-Fi. Here we go. Okay, and restart. And 3, 2, 1.
Loreen!
Go, Loreen!
Euphoria, Loreen, eventually.
Eventually, but it happened and it was beautiful.
Thank you, Lily is a Lizard, for that on Twitter.
It was just for her.
It's time for the listeners to get involved. This is Dan and Phil on BBC Radio 1.
So we will be asking people to tell us again, because it's a very beautiful moment when we ask people for what has gone horribly wrong when they've been trying to enjoy a vacation.
Probably lots of things.
And Phil, I have good news. I've got 6 tweets. So that means at least 6 people that aren't in this room are listening to us.
Yes!
Yes!
People are actually listening to us all around the world.
Okay, here's what people have been sending in.
Okay, Rachel said, we were in a big crowd in France and then I started following this woman who I thought was my mum and I got lost for 4 hours.
Didn't you get separated from your parents in Florida like 2 years ago?
Yeah, I did. I just cried on a beach. Also, it's so horrible when you think someone is your mum and then you go for a hug and you're like, it's not actually my mum.
Okay, so Rachel, if you're listening, hopefully, even though you got lost for 4 hours, you didn't hug anyone that wasn't your mum, because that would have been super awkward.
Yeah, we have one from Krumel, R5, who said, my cat threw up on me.
That's it. That's it. That is the holiday fail. It just says, my cat threw up on me.
Maybe they took it on a plane in one of those plane carriages and it felt sick.
And it projectile vomited through the grates on its cat box and it just kind of chunked everywhere.
That's a lovely visual image for everyone
Okay, moving
listening.
on quickly to the next tweet.
We have one from Philbo Dangings. I'm glad I said that one right. My dad spilt a pie on the floor on our holiday cottage and ate it off the floor, and then I was ill for the rest of the holiday.
Well, I think that shows that you shouldn't eat things off the floor of a cottage.
They probably went beyond the 5-second rule there, into the minute territory.
The 5-minute rule?
Yeah.
How to guarantee you'll be ill for the rest of your holiday?
Yeah.
Okay, no floor pie eating.
Christine watched all 8 seasons of Supernatural. She didn't go outside
not a
once.
Fail. She says that it might not be a fail, but it might show how sad her life is.
She's probably paler than me now. After that.
How long would it even take you
possible.
to watch 8 seasons of Supernatural?
I don't know.
Did you just pretty much just didn't go outside then?
I don't think she went outside.
That's impressive. I'm very proud of you for that, actually.
So keep any holiday fails coming in. Use the hashtag holiday fails. Remember, you can watch us on the internationalradiofestival.com.
Good website, isn't it?
It's a great website.
It's a fantastic website. And now into our next video. It is Dust on the Ground by Bombay Bicycle Club, sent in by This Is Not Me Here.
That's a good username.
Is that a... Dust on the Ground by Bombay Bicycle Club with a video made by This Is Not Me Here. A very profound name, isn't it? Okay, so Phil, I've got a couple more holiday fails, but before I read out those couple holiday fails, I think I should share my one that happened earlier today.
Okay.
You don't know this, because
Really?
I haven't told you yet, because it only happened about 2 hours ago.
I'm feeling suspicious and scared.
It's a bit weird, and it makes me sound like a bit of a creep, which is why I wasn't going to say it, but I thought, YOLO, why not embarrass myself forever on the internet in front of everybody? Is that a good motto to live life by?
I think that's a pretty good motto.
Okay, so I got to the hotel that we were staying at. We just got back from the airport, and I went up to my room, and the woman asked me behind the reception desk whether I could go into my room now because someone had just finished tidying it. So I was like, oh, okay, so there'll be the lady cleaning it when I get there.
Right.
But that's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm comfortable with that. So I went to do that. But then when I got to my room, I saw that the door was open, and I thought, that's okay. I went into the room, and there was a half-naked woman pulling her jeans up.
What?
And I realised,
No.
if my room was 11, I walked into 13, basically,
Dan.
is what happened. Because I saw the cleaning lady's thing outside, and the door was open. But then it was just a woman, and she screamed, and I went, sorry. And
no.
it wasn't that awkward for her, because I was like, oh, okay. And she was just like, ugh, annoying person. But for me, I was like, I violated someone. I'm sorry. I've been here for an hour and I've already assaulted someone, so that was...
Let's hope we get to the end of this radio show before the Swiss police barge down the door.
Come and kidnap me. Yep, okay,
Yeah.
I think we should go back to Twitter for one. Do you think that's okay?
Okay, let's do that.
back to people that aren't me.
Alex the Howl went to the beach and burnt about 2/3 of their body and they couldn't walk or touch anything. Oh, that's always the worst.
I can empathise with that. The worst thing is when you get in the shower, isn't it? That's when you know how burned you are, because you turn on the shower and you're like, my skin!
Wear sunscreen,
Basically. And
everyone.
finally...
Jess said, someone peed on the seat next to me on the plane.
No explanation at all. It's like the cat throwing up. You can't just say that someone peed next to you on the seat on the plane and not follow it up with anything.
Didn't even arrive at holiday yet. He's still on the plane and it's already failed.
Okay, so going into our next music video, this one is Dirty Harry by Gorillaz, made by Ella the Giraffe. Hope you enjoy it, everybody watching online.
Gorilla's Dirty Harry with another beautiful video.
Made by Ella the giraffe. Do you reckon it was an actual giraffe?
I reckon it was a giraffe called Ella. 'cause-
Although it was a lyric video that was drawn, so I guess there's hands, you know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, on a completely unrelated note, we are now going live to Joy. Hello. Oh, microphone dropping. Hello, Joyce.
Me again?
Hi, how are you?
Great, but yeah, you're not on air. Can you please turn on your cam?
Yeah, let's go to a track.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll come back to you after that, as it sounded we were a bit eager.
Yeah.
Whereas now...
We're going to go to Applause by Lady Gaga, made by Charlie and Lola, which is exciting.
Hang on, 1 second, still 1 second.
Okay, we're just going to see if we can speak to Joy's TV again. This is the fun of radio. You never know what's going to happen.
Especially when it's in Switzerland.
Especially when it's in
Switzerland. The magic of it.
Yeah.
Do you have your camera on like the...
Can we turn the camera on, producer Alistair?
Hello.
Front camera.
Can you hear us?
We're holding this iPad, and we've got the Skype open, but it's all going horribly wrong on the other end.
I've always wanted to be on television.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's making the bloopy awkward noises. Should we come back to them in a minute?
I think we're going to go to Lady Gaga with Applause. Remember, if you ever made a music video in your entire life and want to send one to us, you can send it to danandphil@bbc.co.uk. It could be anything you did, like a university project or something that you were working on.
A lot
with
of people
friends.
do media studies courses, don't they, where they make music videos. So if you've ever literally, as Phil said, made a music video to anything in your life, just email it to danandphil@bbc.co.uk. And if it's a song that was made in the last, not before kind of 1970, we will probably play it. Yeah, here is Applause.
Applause, Lady Gaga, with a video made by Charlie and Lola. You're listening to Dan and Phil, and we're at the International Radio Festival in Zurich, which is the most exciting thing I've ever said. And remember, if
Is it?
It
Is
is.
it? Was that hyperbole?
Maybe.
Phil, don't lie, because
Maybe.
God will hate you.
Okay, I won't lie.
Okay,
I won't lie ever again. But yeah, if you want to make a music video, you can send it to danandphil@bbc.co.uk, and then we might show it on our show, even on Sunday.
I love that one. It was slightly terrifying, much like Lady Gaga.
The girls had a similar terrifying look in their eyes, like Lady Gaga has.
Hungry for fame and possibly flesh.
I'm thinking more towards the flesh side of things, but I didn't want to say it.
Okay, so apparently coming up next is internet news. A lot of the people
Yes.
listening to this and watching it in the room don't know what internet news is. Phil, do you want to explain what internet news is?
Do you know when you go on a first date and you've got nothing to talk about?
No, why would I know what that's like?
Well, this gives you at least 5 things to talk about. All the weirdest things that have happened in the world. We're condensing them into one news broadcast.
And the point is that you spent most of your time during the week going into horrible, dark corners of the internet to find these stories.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that is coming up after this next song.
We have Pompeii. No, it's Cool by Le Youth.
Indeed.
With a video by Sarah Jane Nash. Enjoy this if you're watching on internationalradiofestival.com.
That was Cool by the Youth. You are listening to the Dan and Phil Show coming from the Zurich International Radio Festival. And now, apparently, guys, Skype is working. Are we live on TV?
Hello, Joys.
Is you there? Hello? I can has Joys. In Nacht Kleiner, I don't know how to... Phil, how do you say... Das Skype ist kaputt.
There you go.
Ha-ha, check. Laughs from the audience. I didn't say anything terribly offensive. Was that correct? Was that completely correct? Do you call it Skype? Thank you.
I can say,
That's excellent.
Du bist ein Dummkopf.
Wer ist mein Taschenrechner? I know that one. Ha.
Hello, Joys. Are you there? We would really like to speak to you, as it's a television show and I was excited about it.
Well, Phil, this is what happens when you get excited for things. All your dreams are dead, basically.
Maybe they can hear us.
They can hear us, but we can't hear them. It's a vicious cycle. It's a depressing cycle. Okay, shall we do an internet news and then come back to them?
Okay. So, as I was saying, you're on your first date and you want something to talk about with this person. Here's some really weird news articles I found on the internet.
That's a really good description, Phil. Oh, we should mention, for the sake of editorial responsibility, this was news that happened last week.
It was.
It's appropriate wherever you are, though, even if you're Swiss and it's English news. It's humans, and you can relate to humans. Should I stop waffling?
Here we go.
Okay.
This is the Internet News.
Internet news. An Egyptian man has performed a citizen's arrest on a swan.
It happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Thinking it was an undercover spy, he took it to a police station due to a mysterious electronic device on its foot, which turned out to be a wildlife tracker.
Incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that man.
I didn't know you could arrest swans, but now I do. Internet news.
But we can't hear them.
A farmer has allegedly flooded the Teletubbies' house.
Wait, hold on. Do you guys know what the Teletubbies are? The Teletubbies, you do.
We've got some nods in the room.
Okay, Phil, continue with your Teletubbies news.
A farmer has allegedly flooded the Teletubbies' house in an act of anger against tourists trespassing on her land. They flooded the Teletubbies' house. They could just be hid there, underground.
They could be, what, drowning?
Yeah.
That could be very sad.
What a sad image.
Move swiftly on to the next one, Phil.
Internet news.
To celebrate the UK's first national Burger Gay, Burger Gay?
Burger Gay.
What would be a Burger Gay?
I don't know. Let's
not
keep
work that
going,
out.
keep going.
She made an ice cream burger. Would you guys like the sound of that? An ice cream that's supposed to taste like a burger?
No.
No?
That sounds
Apparently it had
horrific.
actual ketchup inside the ice cream. Does that sound appealing or horrifying?
We're getting some disturbed faces in the room at the
I got a
International
nod
Radio
of
Festival.
someone saying horrifying. Okay.
Internet news. And a hotel's customer was fined £300 for swallowing a human toe at a bar. Apparently,
I remember this. Oh, yeah, the human toe.
Apparently, it's a Yukon tradition to dip the toe in the shot of whiskey before you have a little swig of it, but someone accidentally swallowed the toe.
That's a Canadian tradition. I take it it's not a Swiss tradition to have a human toe in your whiskey when you drink it.
I would really hope not.
Okay, moving swiftly on. That is what happened in the world this week.
The Internet News.
I felt really powerful then.
You felt really powerful?
Yeah.
Which of those was your favourite news stories? Mine was the swan, personally.
I think the toe swallowing was pretty gross.
The toe swallowing will always be up there.
I like pretty gross stuff
Anything
like
that involves actual cannibalism will always be a winner with me.
Yeah.
And on that note, not that it's relevant in any way, here is a big song in Britain. It's by Bastille. It's called Pompeii.
Bastille here. Bastille with Pompeii, another favourite with our show. This is Dan and Phil, and we're at the International Radio Festival in Zurich.
And now to our next song. It is Mozart's House by Clean Bandit with a video made by Ellie Cook. Here it is. Do you reckon most people have heard of Mozart's House?
I'm not sure.
It's a very beautiful song. If you haven't yet, here, experience it now.
Mozart's House by Clean Bandit. You're listening to Dan and Phil. If you don't know who we are from BBC Radio 1, which is a radio station in the UK.
Holla.
I'd like to think it's a pretty good radio station.
it's all right.
Yeah. And yeah, we work for the BBC, so I spend most of my time crawling through the BBC offices looking for what's going to happen next on Sherlock. Because they are making it.
They do. They have giant cardboard cutouts of Benedict Cumberbatch everywhere.
I just want to know what's going to happen.
They're proud about.
I've been waiting for more than 2 years almost.
Don't you feel for the Sherlock fan base?
I feel so hard for them.
Only 6 episodes of something, and they've just been insane about it for years. I mean, how much fan fiction can you write?
I don't know.
Just off that so little hours of material.
What's the Sherlock fandom called again? I've forgotten.
What do they call? Is there a name for the Sherlock fandom? The Sherlock fans?
Sherlockians.
Boom, in the corner. You got it. Okay, well, now it's time to talk about one of our other important radio features that we like to do at the top of the hour every time we do a radio show, and that is...
Dan versus Phil.
So, as you may have learned with our show, it all happens live on camera, and the big problem that we had to face when we were planning the show, when we were creating it, is what happens if the whole thing is on camera, but songs don't have music videos. So one of our answers to that problem was we get people to send in music videos to their favourite songs.
Yeah.
But then if someone asks for one that's off Facebook, or maybe it's off Twitter, what do we do during the song? That is the crisis. So we decided we would do challenges live on camera that have ended up being a lot more physically degrading than I thought they would be.
Yeah, we've done limbo, we've done tent erection. Which
yeah,
was
we did tent erecting the other week. That was good, that was hot.
That was a fail for me completely.
It went horribly wrong. What do you reckon the most embarrassing challenge that we ended up doing was?
I think one was after, or before Reading Festival, where we put Wellingtons on our hands and feet and tried to do an obstacle course like some kind of terrifying horse from a Tim Burton film.
That was our producer's idea, and we slightly hate him for making us wearing Wellington boots on our hand and then running around a room like a horse.
I'm still not the same.
Screenshots result in images on the internet that will never ever be away, will they?
Can't wait to see that.
Okay, so something quite exciting, because we've actually got more than 2 people in the room with us, which is good. I like humans, I'm not used to this, is we usually launch a poll on the Radio 1 Facebook page, and we let people that are listening on the Facebook page vote on a poll to decide which of 2 challenge options we end up doing live on camera. But today, we figured we'd do it with the people in the room. Yay! Well, that was enthusiastic. More enthusiasm. That was way more enthusiastic than I even thought would happen. Okay, excellent. Well, that will be happening right after this. This is a classic song in the Dan and Phil repertoire. Do you know which one it is, Phil?
I can sense Khalees is on the way.
Here is time for Milkshake.
Khalees with Milkshake, with probably the most disturbing and entertaining video we've ever seen on our show.
I think so. But now it is time to vote for this day's Dan versus Phil.
Today's.
Is that correct grammar?
Yeah, I think
okay.
it is.
Are you guys ready to vote on today's Dan versus Phil? Okay, Phil, hit them with the options of the two challenges that we could be about to do live on camera.
Okay, well, we were forced to pick from things that we could find around this room. So we're either going to be seeing who can stick the most Post-it note sticky things to the other person.
Okay, sticking Post-it notes on the other person's face.
Let's make it sound more exciting. A Post-it note stick off.
There you go. Yeah, versus
cup stacking.
That's not interesting sounding enough. Make it sound more interesting.
The cup.
Stack off.
Stack off.
Okay, so guys, put your hands up if you would rather see...
No, cheer.
Okay, cheer if you would rather see us stick Post-it notes to each other's face. Cheer if you'd prefer the cup stacking challenge.
No.
An incredibly awkward silence.
Wah.
That's the only way to do it.
It was a laugh.
Well, Phil, it looks like we're going to be doing the Post-it note challenge. Are you ready?
I'm prepared.
Okay, the people watching on the internet are in for a treat. Are you emotionally prepared for this, Phil?
I'm ready.
Round one. Get over here! Fight!
Right, we should do it in both, just this song.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I'm back in Liverpool and everything seems the same, but I worked something out last night that changed this little boy's brain. A small piece of advice that took 22 years in the make, and I will break it for you now. Please learn from my mistakes. Please learn from my mistakes. Let's dance to Joy Division and celebrate the irony. Everything is going wrong, but we're so happy. Let's dance to Joy Division and raise our glass to the ceiling, 'cause this could all go so wrong, but we're so happy, and we're so happy. So if you're ever feeling down, grab your purse and take a taxi to the darker side of town. That's where we'll be, and we will wait for you and lead you through the dance floor up to the DJ booth. You know what to ask for, you know what to ask for. Ask for Joy Division and celebrate the irony. Everything is going wrong, but we're so happy. Let's dance to Joy Division and raise our glass to the ceiling, 'cause this could all go so wrong, but we're so happy. Yeah, we're so happy. Let the love tear us apart. I found the cure for a broken heart. Let tear us apart. Let the love tear us apart. I found the cure for a broken heart. Let tear us apart. So let the love tear us apart. I found the cure for a broken heart. Let tear us apart. So let the love tear us apart. I found the cure for a broken heart. Let tear us apart. Let tear us apart. Let tear us apart. Let's dance to Joy Division and celebrate the irony. Everything is going wrong, but we're so happy. Let's dance to Joy Division and raise our glass to the ceiling, 'cause this could all go so wrong, but we're so happy. Yeah, we're so happy. So happy. Yeah, we're so happy. So happy. Yeah, we're so happy.
The Wombats.
Phil, how do you feel?
I feel sticky.
For the people who just joined us, that's because we've been sticking sticky notes in each other.
Yay.
Context, very important.
So that was the brutal Dan versus Phil that I was explaining
That was
earlier.
so intense. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
If you weren't watching on the International Radio Festival website, you missed a battle of epic proportions, I would have to say.
I think that's safe to assume, but before we molt anymore, I think it's time to let the audience decide who the winner is. Phil, would you like to lead the proceedings?
Okay. And... LCD sound system, North American style, made by Anton Novoselov.
Good pronunciation, Phil.
Thanks.
That was eager.
She was eager.
She was very excited for that moment.
Sounded like she was from the future or something.
Does anyone in this room know what Mario Paint is? It's very... No one.
One person's kind of nodding.
Does someone... It's like a game. Was it on the SNES? Where people used to be able... It was a Mario-themed music-making game. And what we're listening to now is someone who made Daft Punk on Mario Paint. So let's just enjoy it for a few seconds.
I could just listen to this for the rest of the time that we're here, but we shouldn't. We've got some holiday fails to read out from Twitter.
Okay.
Let's go to them now, Twitter. Okay.
We have one from Alicia who says, a Spanish waiter once tried flirting with her and she didn't understand, so she started crying.
Oh, Alicia.
Oh, could have been your husband.
I'm shedding a tear for you now.
Dear, okay.
Alan Ashby, or Chloe Ashby, said, my swimming costume straps weren't done up right and it came undone when I tried to go down a water slide.
Oh, dear.
You can empathise with that, though. That happened to you, didn't it?
That happened to me on a Swiss water slide. I wish I remembered the name of the place. I was here when I was 14. What's the biggest water park in Switzerland? I think it was there, and there's a really fast one that's like went down that and my pants came off.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to repress that memory, so forget I said it.
And
That's
also,
okay.
Kate went on a 9-day cruise, and all she did was sit in the cabin.
Who can relate? I
so
can relate to that.
Yeah, maybe she
Okay.
felt sick or something.
Is that making you feel a bit better about your incident? It's making me feel a bit better about walking into that lady's room earlier.
I feel like we've solved all our problems together. It's like therapy. Now we're going to go on to our penultimate track. But after this, we're going to play the best video we've ever made, I think.
I think you can
It's
say
so
that.
good.
It's that good.
It's so good. So here is Jack Breach.
That was Jack with Breach. Do you like that? It's okay, guys. That's a guy that makes that noise. Did you think it was a sexy girl? Wait, let's... It's a dude. Everyone I know freaked out when that happened. But I still like it. Do you still like it, Phil?
Yeah, I still like it.
Still a totally good and valid song. I think so, indeed.
BBC Radio 1.
So this is the end of our show. Thank you to everybody who lurked.
Thanks.
No matter when you arrived. It's been nice having actual faces smiling at me.
Yeah.
I feel like I should just hire people to smile at me. Thank you. Yay!
You can check us out on YouTube as Dan Is Not On Fire and Amazing Phil, or see what other shows are actually like from 8 o'clock p.m. on a Sunday, bbc.co.uk/Radio 1.
8 p.m. Swiss time. See what we did there? We allocated +1. Yay, maths. Okay, so now we're going to go explore Switzerland after this because we literally just arrived and then we got straight here. But to end the show, like Phil said, by far the best video we've ever created. To celebrate the magic of Reading and Leeds Festival, we made an epic montage video to Fall Out Boy's My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. And like the Daft Punk video, we got the help of our listeners and lots of people.
Including Fall Out Boy themselves.
I know, right? So if you want to see Radio and DJs, other bands at the festival, me and Phil, people who sent in videos on Instagram, and as Phil said, Fall Out Boy, to conclude our Zurich experience, here is Fall Out Boy, My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
A day. And so your music program is top 40. What other content do you have? We got news, traffic, weather.